Well, hi, this is Sue, the Soggy Stamper. It's a sunny Friday afternoon, 3 o'clock on the Pacific West Coast. And I am really excited to show you how to make this darling shaker card. Shaker cards may seem to be intimidating to some people, but it's really quite simple with using our tools. So in just a minute, I will get started, give some people a chance to get on. We've still got a few minutes before 2 o'clock. So I just wanted to get set up and started so that you know I was here. I want to welcome everybody who is watching live, and also those who will be watching the video after I get through with the live presentation. I will put it up on my YouTube channel, The Soggy Stamper, this afternoon, so you can watch it there, or you can watch it on Facebook. So this afternoon, I am had to make a birthday card for a granddaughter, and I wanted to make a shaker card on one of my demonstrator online groups, Facebook groups. The challenge was shaker card, so I wanted to make a shaker card. And I'm using, for the greetings, happy birthday. The inside says, to an extraordinary granddaughter. So that was a grandkid stamp set. Very handy for grandmas and grandpas, and must be a must to have. And then I'm using Playing in the Rain. Naturally, being a soggy stamper, rain and sunshine are to go to sweet. I really like it because it has a variety of just different things, and I seem to have not got my dies here yet. For Pete's sake. So the dies for this set have a bridge. They have to cut out images, not only the stamped images, but also you can cut out on some of the designer series paper that comes with the suite. You can cut out the images that are pre-colored with the designer series paper. So that fits like that. Here's the turtle. And here is the fox with his umbrella. Huh. Get this lined up right. Well, that one doesn't seem to match the image. It does on the designer series paper for sure. Let's see how it matches the stamp set. Oh, wrong one. These cling stamps, sometimes the cling is really sticky and it's hard to get up, so if you just rub it on your pants a little bit, it will take some of the stickiness off. Okay, so, oh yeah, that's better. There, now it fits. The image in here is smaller. Has a bridge that goes with the set, the dies. Has some clouds, has a kite, has tails for the kite, things to tie on it, a stump, a couple of butterflies, and a die to cut out the bunch of flowers. So it's really versatile. And part of the suite is a raindrop embossing folder. Let me get that for you. Raindrop embossing folder. You can kind of see the raindrops. What's really funny is when I embossed, I used it to emboss the frame here. And I used it upside down because raindrops they are wider at the bottom than up at the top. So these aren't raindrops, these are just bumps. Okay, so we start out with the piece of basic white cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 to have a side fold card, and piece of Mango Melody cardstock that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. This is going to be our frame, and a piece of the Designer Series paper, the flowery bottom, that is 1 3/4. I kind of just cut it according to where there was a break in the pattern, and that goes on the frame here. So let's do that. Apply that. Down here at the bottom, my idea was that this would all be kind of a continuous carrying forth in that with that idea. Okay, so then I'm going to cut that out with, this is the one of the deckled rectangle folds dies, and it is straighten these out here. Okay, so it's the 1, 2, 3, the fourth one in from the outside. And I'll be right back. This does not fit through the mini Stampin' Emboss, so I'll be right back. And we end up with a frame like this, and I'm going to emboss it with the raindrop embossing folder, but I am going to and if I had embossed it first before I cut it, the embossing would have been flattened down a bit. Okay, what did I do with the folder? This is crazy. Are you like me? You lose things just even though they're right at hand and you can't see them? Oh, here it is. Too close. Now I want to make sure this time that I get the narrow parts. Nope, see, that's upside down. That's that's the way they designed it. With the bold part up at the hinge and the points down at the bottom. I'll be right back. Okay, so there we go. This time I have the raindrops falling the right direction because the points are going, the white spots down there. Okay, so that's the frame. And to keep their insides from falling out, I have a piece of window sheet. This actually happens to be one of the plastics that the photopolymer stamps are on when you get it. I like to put them on the directly onto the stamp box and take them off this plastic. So I saved this, and it works out perfectly for using as a window sheet. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive along here. See that my edge is a little bit uneven right here. There, that looks better. So I'm just going to lay it on top. You don't have to have it covering the whole thing, just enough to keep the goodies from falling out of your shaker area. So like that's plenty. Okay. Now, well, you have to have it raised up so that there's room for the shaker stuff to shake inside. And there is, Stampin' Up! Sells this adhesive foam strips that works perfectly for this use. I think this might be good enough. Yep, that works just fine there. Then we'll run some down. It's easy to cut with the scissors. Depending on how fine your shaker stuff material is, you have to be sure to get the corners sealed well. But the flowers I'm going to use are pretty good size, so they're not going to slide out if I don't have this precise at the corners. I need just a little bit more. Go across the bottom here. Now if you put it right up at the edge, you would be likely to see the edge, the foam, but by setting it back like I have, it doesn't show it so much. Okay, so that is ready. Now let's get the rest of the card ready. So there's two pieces to this. The whole thing is very long. It's an 8.5, a lovely 8.5 or a 12 by 12 sheet of designer series paper. And if you'll notice, the clouds have a shine to them. They've been embossed. I absolutely love this, but it's hard to decide to put it on a card. Do you cut it down here, or do you have mostly sky? So what I have done is I've taken 2 scraps, one with the sky and one with the grass, or the grass with the flowers, and I fastened them together. Again, it doesn't have to be 5 1/4 by 4, because it's just going to be behind the shaker part. So I'm going to try, let's see, no, that won't work. Put it up too high. So anyway, that's the way it's going to look. I'll adhere this here. To the card front. And I think at this point I'll put my birthday greeting on. Happy birthday from It's a Grand Kid. You could put any birthday, happy birthday that you wanted, or any other greeting in here. And I'm just going to do it casually like that. Ugh, that didn't turn out very good. When that happens, when it doesn't get good and solid, there's 2 things you can do. Had I had this on the Stamparatus, I could have just stamped it over again. But I'm going to take my black, basic black Stampin' Blend. You could use the Stampin' Marker as well. I happen to like the blends. And I'm just going to carefully darken that in. There, much better. Okay, so now I have to create the little turtle. I used the turtle stamp, and I stamped it with gray granite ink because I didn't want it to be too bold with the outline. So the outline is there, but it's not quite so standoutish. Okay, so I'm going to use a combination of blends. This is Dark Daffodil Delight for the flower center. And I'm using the light mossy meadow for his body. The thing I like about blends is that you don't have to cover every little space. It tends to just flow. You can get all kinds of imagination with this. Coloring his thing, you could have him be a whimsical turtle and use blue and pink or whatever suits your fancy. I tend to want to just do it so it matches what it's supposed to look like for real. Although most turtles are all one color, I think. And I'm going to use the highlighted part with light old olive. And I decided that, oh, the underside of his shell, same color. And I was at a quandary as what color to make his arms and his legs. I haven't looked at a turtle in a long time, so I'm not quite sure what color they are. But I kind of played around with the colors and decided to use, this is of the Tones one, and it is 700, SU 700. And I chose it because of the color. It's kind of a light brownish color. You could color him with colored pencils, or you could color him with Stampin' Right markers. Colored pencils are fun to use, and then you can, because they're watercolor pencils, and after you get done coloring, you can apply water with one of our aqua painters and blend out your pencil strokes. Well, that's really a cool technique. But you could use just plain old Stampin' Right markers. What I don't like about them is that the color they put down is so much more opaque that it's hard to see the details like the lines. Okay, gonna have a nice pink flower. Going to have a pink flower in comparison to the white and yellow ones in the Designer Series paper. And his eye looked a little bit, the white of his eye looked a little bit strong, a little bit too much, so I'm using crumb cake to color, to take a little bit of the brightness off it. Make it soften it up a little bit. And there we have it. I could take Balmy Blue and color in here so it blended with the background a little better, but I'm not going to bother to do that. So the next step is to cut him out. I'm going to take the trusty mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I love it because it fits in my space here, my light box, beautifully. It's great for travel because you can fold up the sides of it and it takes up very little space. It's light, so its footprint is really small. And most of the dies can be cut out using it. Some are too wide, like cutting this. The paper was too wide to go through the slot because it's a 3.5 inch instead of a 6-inch slot. But most of the time you don't need that big a one. Some of the embossing, most of the embossing folders are too big for this, but they have come out with some really sweet ones that are perfectly sized for this. And one of the things during Celebration that I'm really excited about is that if you sign up to be a demonstrator during Celebration, you can purchase, as part of your starter kit, a boho blue one of these dudes. And that's it's going to be a limited edition. And it's really special. It's one of the new in colors, I believe, for this coming 2023. So you can get a boho blue. The starter kit is $99, and for $129 you can get the starter kit plus the boho blue mini Stampin' emboss machine, and you get on top of that $175 worth of choice of your choice of supplies. So if you're interested in starting your own stamping business, even if you're interested in just getting this mini in blue, contact me, because I'd love to have you on my demonstrator team. Being a demonstrator, I've been one for 22 years now, and I cannot imagine not being a demonstrator. I do not have a big business, and that's one of the things that's really nice about Stampin' Up. They value you even if you are just a hobbyist, and if you are just doing it for your own pleasure. The only requirement they have is that you meet a $300 minimum in sales or purchases per quarter. So if you were to hold a class and charge $25 per person for the class, which is not hard to get. You know, I have classes occasionally. Used to have more than I do now because COVID has kind of interrupted things, and my stamping space for class and all is pretty small, so we can't spread out. At any rate, if you hold a $25 class, only 4 people come per month. In the quarter, you would get your $300. So it's not hard to do, unless you are your only customer, and then you have to be prepared to spend that much. Okay, so now I could pop him up with Stampin' Dimensionals, but then the shaker pieces would get stuck underneath him. So I'm going to just put him down flat, and I'm going to do that right now. And I'm going to use multi-purpose liquid glue for this, because I don't want any edges to have I'm going to put glue around the edges so that the shaker pieces don't get caught under the image here. Okay. We'll put him down about like that. Okay, now my stuff for along with part of the suite are these loose daisy embellishments. And when I first saw them, I thought, oh, this is perfect for a shaker card. See, they've got white ones and they've got yellow ones. And I'm just going to take a pinch of them. Maybe 2 little pinches like that. Pile it up in the middle of the card. Now I'm going to take the the paper liner off these strips. And place it down. Hopefully straight. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Ah, he's covered with daisies now. And there you have an easy fun, shaker card says happy birthday. On the inside, you can write whatever you would like, or you can stamp a birthday greeting of some sort. Don't forget to sign it on the back. I have a stamp that I have several years ago. We had the option of having custom-made photopolymer stamps, and mine says, rain or shine, it's stamping time, and it has my first name, and it has my website, which is difficult to read because it's so small, but I have that to put on the back of all of my cards. I also have the Stampin' Up! Copyright Stampin' Up! Stamp on this block, because if you sell cards, you have to have that copyright there. So there, rain or shine, it's stamping time, and you can barely see www.soggystamper.com. And there you go, the shaker card with all the talking I've done in half an hour. Of course, I did have the things kind of pre-cut for you, but it's really quick. Not a difficult thing to do. This will be up on my, like I say, on my YouTube channel, The Soggy Stamper, this afternoon. And I will do a blog post with the cutting dimensions and the supplies used for you to refer back to. My blog is soggystamper.com. If you have any questions, Sue@soggystamper.com is my email. And if you need any of these supplies, I'd be delighted to have you as a customer. My store is creationsbysue.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. I'm not sure what I'll be making, but it'll be something from the new catalog. Talk to you later, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.